Hello, my name is Danielle Morton, and this is my presentation based on the hanging out, messing around, and geeking out process that we went through this semester. The focus of this presentation will be on the application Book Creator. When I initially started this project, I knew that I wanted writing to be my focus. This is an area that most elementary educators struggle with. In my district, we do not feel that our curriculum is updated and relevant in terms of writing. Relevancy is extremely important to writing because many children struggle to write if they're not invested in the pieces they are creating. I really feel that technology would be a great way to update our writing curriculum. My goal for this project was to find an application that will engage my learners in the writing process for assigned pieces and center writing. When looking for applications, I had criteria for what I wanted out of the app. Overall, the application needed to promote student growth in writing. It also needed to provide a way for the instructor and other students to provide feedback. Affordability is always a factor in education, since I feel that this gets in the way of many technology initiatives. So this was pretty important to me as well. I also wanted the application to be easy for my younger learners to use. This means that the features needed to be easy to navigate, login should be simple, and sharing and saving should be easily accessible. Finally, I really wanted to make sure that this application would encourage student voice and creativity. All of the applications I found would be great additions to any primary classroom. So even though I'm just going to focus on one, they would all be great ones to research and look up. These applications are Book Creator, Buncee, Write About This, and Scribble Press. The application I chose to further research was Book Creator. It did not fit all of my criteria, but it seemed the most realistic for my current classroom since it could also be used on a computer. Some other great features is that it had a very kid-friendly interface. Logging in was extremely easy since students just needed to scan a QR code. For younger learners, this saves so much time. Additionally, all the features were extremely easy to navigate. Book Creator was also very affordable since it came with a free version for basic use, and the paid version was also affordable. It allows for more creativity than a typical paper book because students can add videos, pictures, drawings, and recordings. The only thing that it really didn't have was a feature for the teacher or other students to provide feedback, but it does allow it to be able to be shared online. So it could easily be shared on a school website. And my website has an option for people within our school to comment. So that could be a way for students to receive feedback. So let me show you how to use it. So first you're going to want to go to bookcreator.com or you can download the application. First I'm going to show you how to log in as a student. You can see that there are multiple ways to sign on. And if you were Google Classroom, this might actually be the better way to go. But for my younger learners, I was really excited to see that it was just simply a QR code. And we'll go over how to set up those QR codes when I look at the teacher side of it. But let's go ahead and sign in. So you're just going to click on sign in with QR code. And then I'm going to go ahead and get that to scan. And that takes me right to my account, which was super easy. So you can see that I'm already assigned to my class. Our class is known as the Happy Campers. And you'll already see a book that I've made, which we'll look at later. But let's first look at the features of creating a new book. So you're going to click up here for a new book. And you can see that there are lots of different types of books that you can make. And later on, I'll talk about the comic books because I really think that my students would be very interested in that. But we're just going to try a basic book. So I'm going to click there on portrait. What's great is that each of these books can have 9,999 pages. So students can create one book that could be a chapter book or a series, and that could be really cool to see over time. Now, what makes this easy for my young learners is there are just 3 tabs for everything. The plus sign is an add-on feature, so anything you want to add to your book. The little I is to change the features that you're adding, and the triangle is going to be to play your book. So let's first add some features. So you'll see here with media, we have lots of options of things that we can add. So if I click here on import, you'll see that I can import Google Images, maps, files from my computer, or I can embed videos. What's great is that the images are labeled for commercial reuse, and it is a safe search, which I know is not perfect, but so far I tried a lot of different images with the book I created, and it all looked pretty good, but I would still probably be cautious with younger learners with that. You can also add a video or a picture. So I just click here on camera. Now the first time you do this, it's going to ask you to allow the camera to be used. So you'll want to do that, but you can either take a picture or record a video. There's a pen for drawing. I'm never really great with this tool, but I could see how it would be useful with our touch screens at school. And then there's text, which is going to be super important to typing your story. So if I click text, this is where I just add the text. And I can either type it or I can press the mic and speak what I want to write down, and it'll type it for me. Now, of course, as we know, speech to text is not perfect, so you'll definitely have to help students with that. But if I just add text here, I click done. Now, if I want to change the font or the size, any of that, that's where I'm going to click here on the I. And that's going to give me options for changing the size, how it's centered, and then there are lots of fonts to choose from here so they can be as creative as they want to be, as well as colors. And then things are very easily to delete as well on here, so I can just delete something that way. And finally, the record, which in the beginning I wasn't as excited about this until I really realized what it could be used for, and now I'm very excited about it. Having primary students record their writing can help them identify errors. It can also help them to work on their fluency and expression. I tried this with a few students, and I could tell they were really thinking about the meaning of their writing so that they could add more expression, which is amazing because it makes it so much more than just a writing assignment, but it also helps with their fluency, which is really, the reason that we have ELA, that big picture. And finally, there are little shapes that I could see being useful for comic books and things like that. And finally, if I click on the eye when I don't have any features, that's where I can change the background of the page. And you'll see there's other features there for templates and things like that. So if I go back to my main page, we have a blank book. We didn't really make anything, but this right here is where I can share. And as a student, you can only print or download as an ebook. Students cannot publish online. That's up to the teacher, which I think is a great safety feature, so you can make sure they're not adding private information online. I can also go up here and I can look at all the books in my class. Although, like I said, you can't comment on them, it would be a great way for students to be able to look at the stories of everyone in their class. So let's go ahead and log out, and I will show you the teacher side of it. So signing up for a teacher account is super easy, and there is a free version. Okay, so as you can see on my main page, this is where I can see all the books in my classroom. And the teacher page also has 3 different tabs, so it's super easy. The most important tab is your account tab, which is right here. And this is where you're going to be able to access your QR code logins. Adding students is very simple. So if I wanted to add a student, I just type in their name, I add them to my class, and it will give your entire list of students and then the option to print your QR codes. And that just gives a little slip of paper that all the students can use. So now you'll look back on our main page and you'll see that I've already written a story, and this story has a little sphere in the corner, and that indicates that the teacher has published this book online. And I have included that link under this video so you can see an example of what a book would look like through Book Creator. This would be probably something I would show students before we got started with our research project. After researching this application, I'm very excited to use it in my classroom. One of the main purposes of this app would be for the class-wide writing assignments that we do. Book Creator would provide an engaging platform for students of all abilities to express their thinking. There are 2 units that I feel would really benefit from this program, one being our oviparous animal research project, which is the example that I've shown in the link below. Another unit would be our My Story unit. This unit encourages every child to tell their own story because we all have stories to share. It comes from a program called the Front Porch Initiative. The idea is that we used to share stories on our front porches, and that really doesn't happen anymore. So we must create these experiences for our children. Students write 5 different stories based on various themes, and then this would provide a way for them to share their stories with our whole school family, which would greatly extend the reach of their front porch. I would also love to use this as our writing center. Currently, all my students want to do is create books at our writing center, and I think it would be a great way to encourage and support this love. In order to allow my students to make multiple books, though, I would need to purchase the paid version, and it would cost about $60 per year. And I've talked to a PTO representative, and they believe it's something that they would be definitely interested in supporting. So with everything we add to our classes, we must ensure that they are best practice and that they'll have a positive effect on the growth of our students. I feel that Book Creator would enhance my classroom in ways that would affect student growth and demonstrate best practice. One reason is because it supports authentic learning experiences. Too often, our current writing curriculum, my students write just so they can turn it in for a grade. And occasionally these pieces are displayed in the hallway. However, there's no true publishing going on. Writing stories using Book Creator would give my classroom a way to share their stories on our website. On our website, people within our school community could comment and even share their own ideas. Another reason that Book Creator supports best practices is because it supports student voice, choice, and creativity. In the primary classroom, students are often held back by their ability to spell, and this results in very simple sentences of words that they definitely know. Book Creator would give students an opportunity to not only express their thoughts in text, but also in pictures, drawings, and what I feel is the most effective video. A final reason Book Creator supports best practice is because it would allow students to be active participants in the writing process. I know that currently my students are using applications such as Storybird, and they're completely engaged and active. I can't stop them from writing. However, when we're doing just basic journal writing, for some students, I'm constantly reminding them to stay on task. This engagement is essential for learning experiences. I'm extremely excited to use this with my students, and I hope that Book Creator will improve their writing and their love for writing, and I hope that you learned a little about it and maybe that you'll try it out for yourselves as well.